I'd like to call the Traffic Commission meeting of September 26th to order. Members present are Frank Stringy, City Planner, Chris Bright, Fire Chief, and myself, Paul Agenzio, Superintendent of Public Works. If you could join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with the public hearing. We're going to go slightly out of order. We're going to start with number 5. Amend Schedule 9, Title 10, Resident Parking Sticker Areas by adding Arlington Ave from Centennial Avenue, both sides, up to the dead end of the street, 24 hours, Monday through Saturday. Anyone wishing to speak in favor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission. Ira Novoselsky, 53D Hone Street, Ward 2 Councilor. I had been contacted by some residents looking for the permit parking based on everything's moving up the hill. We just did Florence Ave from one end to the other, and now those folks that are going down to the T, believe it or not, even though it's a tall hill, they're parking up on Arlington and parking up on Walnut Ave. And the reason I put in James Street, because it's a connecting street.
Okay.
So this way, the people that live on Arlington and Walnut can park on James in case there's too many cars on either one of those streets. It's an overflow street. So that's what we're looking at now. This is Arlington Ave. We believe we have a resident here to talk about it. So that's okay. I did pass out flyers, house to house, yesterday to let everybody know, and some of the folks are here from both streets.
Okay.
And I sent out emails a couple weeks ago about it, so whoever shows up today shows up. Okay.
Thank you, Ira.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? You just press the button there so we can hear you. Yes. No, just press it once. There you go.
Good afternoon, Frank Davis. I live on Arlington Ave, and we're having a terrible time up there with the parking. We're the first street from the T that anybody can park anytime, and we really need some protection up there. It's even gotten so bad that the people who already are on those other streets who don't get their cars registered on those streets are coming to our streets. It's like an overflow. Mm-hmm. I can't even park in front of my house. If you were to go there now, you'd see the front of the house blocked, and I know that those people for a fact live on Florence Street. I would hope that you can consider giving us a resident-only parking street in the rest of James. Otherwise, the same thing will only be around the corner because only one half of James Street is restricted now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak in favor? This is for Arlington Ave only. Well, anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this? Okay, hearing none. Anyone wish to speak in opposed to this change?
I think Mr. Rose, the park clerk, was going to come over and speak on this here. I was talking the other day, and he was kind of concerned about the way we're adding streets throughout the city when they're trying to implement the overnight parking program right now. Okay. So I don't know if you want to hold off for him. Okay. Or
well, his opinion would probably relate to all 4 of these, right?
Yeah, it's going to relate to all 4 of these here and other streets. It says right now we're trying to implement the overnight program.
Parking, okay.
And we keep on adding streets, one at a time, a block at a time, 2 blocks at a time, and it's going to kind of cross over on us. Okay. And the enforcement's going to be a nightmare until we get one problem straightened out. Okay. All right. Anyone else wish to oppose to this plan? We'll hold off on voting on this until we discuss the other 3 because they all pretty much relate. Number 6 on the agenda, amend Schedule 9, Title 10, Resident Parking Sticker Areas by adding James Street from Arlington, both sides, up to Walnut Avenue, 24 hours, Monday through Saturday.
Anyone wish to speak in favor of this particular?
Once again, Mr. Chairman, members, ditto what I said
Okay.
before, so it's just part of the same package. And
Okay,
this-
fine.
You're just talking about James?
Yep,
Okay.
that's how it's, we have to go by,
Okay,
yes, just
yep.
James.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor? Sure, come right up. This is James, okay. And okay, yes, you can speak again, sure.
Just to reiterate, it's important to have James too, or the problem will all be sitting right there on the, the west side of James Street.
Okay,
I guess it's the east side now that is restricted. So if you can make that resident-only parking for the people on Walnut, Arlington,
Okay.
and Florence, I think that would help the neighborhood greatly.
okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Anyone opposed to adding James Street? Number 7, amend Schedule 9, Title 10, resident parking sticker areas by adding Walnut Avenue from Franklin Avenue, both sides, up to the dead end of the street, 24 hours, Monday through Saturday. Anyone wish to speak in favor of this?
Once again, Mr. Chairman, Ira Novoselsky, 53 Dehone Street, Ward 2 Councilor. Again, the residents approached me, and I have a few of them to say their piece, but we are in favor of this and want it to happen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor of this?
Hello, my name is Trudy Paputis. I live at 234 Walnut Ave. And we have cars that park here on Walnut Ave and walk down the hill, and they leave their cars for the entire day and sometimes overnight to go to the train station. Secondly, Bay Cove, which is across the street from our house. Employees park on the street all day and sometimes overnight rather than park on their premises, which was an agreement when they created this situation, that they would only park in their parking spaces, in their driveways. But they're not. They're parking all over the street. And then on Thursdays, the third Thursday of every month, that's street cleaning day on Arlington Street, and they come up and park on Walnut Ave.
Okay.
And we're just wondering when this will be decided, and who will we call for violations? Will that be 311, or would we call IRA? Okay. I'm sorry,
Well,
that's all I have to say. Thank you so much
Okay, that's fine.
for considering our
We may be
issues.
deciding this today.
Thank you, that would be
And then the
wonderful.
person that, or the department that enforces it is the traffic control, Mr. Rose's office. You would
Okay.
call them.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else wish to speak in favor? Okay. Name and address, please.
My name is Frank Dunn. I live in 234 Walnut Ave. I just would like to say the same thing she said. Plus the other, down the dead end, is that they have the stairs that go downstairs, that go down
Yeah.
below to the other place. I think they should get rid of those stairs because people keep coming up and they park their cars over there and they go back down those stairs also. They don't even live in the area. I just want to say that much.
All right,
And
thank
whatever
you.
she said is correct.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Oh, press the button, please.
Maria Botari, 90 Library Street. I'm representing my mom who lives at 231 Walnut Ave. I'm there practically every day, night, weekend, see the same thing these folks are seeing. People parking their cars, going to take the train, people telling me, hey, I live on the street over there. Is it all right if I leave my car here? Sometimes they're blocking her driveway, which really frustrates me because I'm not a great driver backing up.
Okay.
So it just, reiterating what everyone says, we really need the residential parking. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Sir?
Hi, Commissioner Andrew Fenno, 255 Walnut Ave. We really need resident-only parking up there. I'm the first to last house on the dead end on the right-hand side going down. My first issue is with the stairs. going down to Hillside Ave, between the drug dealers parking their cars going down there and people from the trailer parks walking up to meet the drug dealers that are parked there, the people that are having parties at all hours of the night, parking on our street, then they leave their trash, they come up, they leave their beer bottles in front of my house and my neighbor's house. It's always a cleanup on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings. In the summertime, we have people that are parking up on the hill to walk down to the beach because the beach is either crowded and/or early in the morning, they can't park on the beach because I believe it's 10 a.m. that they can park. And then we have the train. So we have the train people coming up that are commuting into Boston. 5 years ago, it wasn't bad. Even 3 years ago, it wasn't bad. But as everybody else gets resident parking down the street, they go further up the street, from Centennial to James, all the way to the very end of Walnut Ave in front of my house. I have a fire hydrant in front of my house. There's always a car parked in front of my house and in front of the fire hydrant. I myself have a driveway, but even when I park on the street, if I have to, I don't park directly in front of my house because there's a fire hydrant there.
Okay.
Also, in the wintertime, I know we have the emergency parking signs. If a plow truck is attempting to plow our street, he cannot. I have people from other streets parking on our street, especially the people on Hillside. They crowd our street, the plow truck can only go down the center. He cannot go right into the gutter of the street. And if somebody's parked in front of my house, myself and my neighbor to the left of me looking at my house, we can't get out of our driveways because now there's a car parked there and a snow pile from the plow. So now we got to do extra shoveling, which I get it. It's a snowstorm. We all have to shovel. But it makes it undue distress on us to do it, where I get anxiety when I see snow because people are parked on the street. Then they walk down to Hillside. Numerous confrontations with people parking on the street overnight, leaving their trash. I mean, this is all
Okay.
I have to say about it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for hearing me.
Anyone else wish to speak in? Okay.
Hi,
Hi.
I didn't expect to speak today, but I
Okay.
am. I live at 246,
Name and address, please.
Joellen Vasquez, 246 Walnut Avenue. I'm the second house to the left, down where the stairs is where he's talking about.
Okay.
It's horrendous. They come, they park there, and they go down the stairs. And if I should ask nicely, we live down there and there's no parking.
Okay.
Hello, well, where am I gonna park if you park in front of my house, right? And I usually get a terrible remark, but I let it go.
Okay.
Because you have to these days. So that's a problem there. The problem in the wintertime, the same thing Andrew was talking about. We have a wide street. We have restricted parking ban in the winter. They come and they will park so close to my driveway that if I was to shovel out, I have to onto them.
Okay.
That's how close they are. And the trucks, they can't get close enough to the street. That's another issue. What's another issue? In the middle of the night, same thing. People come, the kids party down the street, and then they come and they park next to me. And before you know it, I got scratches on my car. I got Dunkin' Donuts coffee. I got ashtrays, like they dump their ashes. Sometimes there's needles that we have to pick up. It's terrible. It's terrible, and I have to commend the police department. Where'd he go? Where's my
He's-
policeman?
Yep.
Sometimes I have to call them, because there's riffraff on the street too. These people, drug addicts or whoever
Okay.
comes up, I don't want to stereotype, but you
Right.
see what
No, it's
they're
okay.
doing, all right? And they're right in front of my house or right across the street. I live right next to him, second to the house to the last of the end. And I have to call the police department to come, you
Okay.
know? And they respond quickly, by the way, just to let
Thank
you
you.
know. All right, that's all I really do think we need some
Thank-
sort of restrictive.
Thank you for your
parking.
comments.
You're welcome.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor of making the sticker parking?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I just spoke to the parking clerk. Originally, we were thinking of laying this on the table, but where there's so many residents here, and whereas we're going to be implementing the 12 a.m. to the overnight anyways, I don't think it's going to be a burden on Mr. Rose to add these couple of streets.
Okay.
And they'll be off the list when we do
implement the overnight, so
Okay.
I'm going to be inclined to vote in favor of this today.
Okay, anyone wish to speak in opposition to any of this? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Do you want to vote on 5, 6, and 7 both at the same time, or can we do that? We can group them in. A motion to
Mr. Chairman,
approve item.
I just need one clarification. This 24-hour is a new twist, isn't it?
We have been doing some 24 hours.
We have the commuter parking time limits. We have the overnight residence sticker time limits. Is this going to be something in addition to that?
Sergeant Janino, do we have any 24-hour areas currently?
Well, let's just make it till midnight, and when the new resident sticker park, and it's for the whole city, it'll automatically be from midnight to 6.
We started doing the 24-hour for the commuter areas.
Okay, so we do currently have some 24-hour.
Yeah, because when the new ordinance takes effect, there'll be two different parts to it. There'll be
Okay.
the commuter part, which is all the time, and then there's just the overnight part.
Okay,
This will fall under the commuter part.
okay,
That answers my question. I just want to make sure we have consistency. Yeah.
okay. Do I hear a motion to approve sticker parking on number 5, 6, and 7 on the agenda?
I just want to ask one question, Mr. Chairman. Clerk Rose, how long will it take for you to implement this, just so the people don't think it's going to be tomorrow morning?
Once we get the signage up, signage will have to go up first. Once we get the signage up, we'll allow you 2 weeks to come in and get your permits. To get the signage up, hopefully, we're talking
Maybe a month, within 3 or 4 weeks, yeah.
Is that okay? All right, motion to approve.
2 to 3 months, okay. Okay, it might be just slightly longer.
Yeah.
Sergeant Janino is going to clarify.
As long
Yeah,
as-
by the time the meeting closes, the minutes get done, the paperwork goes in, the request goes in, the signs go up, you're looking at 2 to 3 months.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, I usually put a letter out to all the neighbors.
Okay.
Letting them know that it was passed and that they can go up to the parking office, at least get their stickers in advance.
Okay.
Letting them know that the signs will be up in about 2 or 3, a month or 2 or whatever it is. I usually put a 3-1, they went on it also.
okay, fine.
Can I get one more clarification? Is the 2-hour rule applied to these areas if a visitor comes up to 2 hours without a pass?
No.
Have we been doing that?
No, we haven't
Oh,
done it.
that was only recommended for the nighttime stuff.
No, that was recommended in the past for some 24-hour places, because people go to visit a family member. I
They-
thought we decided on that.
They have the visitor permits they can use.
I understand, but the purpose is to stop the commuters parking, not stopping someone to go have lunch with their mother. So I think if we're going to do this, we should start implementing, you don't need a pass for up to maybe 2 hours.
Mr. Rose, would that pose any problem for you?
So I don't know, I want to hear what the clerk thinks about that.
Press the button, please, Jim. Thank you.
To Chief Guido, actually, I think that would be hard for me to try to enforce the 2-hour. We have no way to basically time them. We don't chalk cars, we don't time them, so it would be kind of something that I wouldn't be able to enforce.
Okay.
And it's been working, it seems like it's been working well with just the,
The other areas?
yeah,
Okay.
and the permit. Okay?
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, all opposed? Aye. Okay, we now have resident sticker parking 24 hours on those streets.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay?
Council, you reached your limit for the year.
Well, that's okay, there's only 2 months left anyway. Wait till
thank you.
January comes.
Oh, we're going to return to the regular order.
Number 10, if I may, Mr. Chairman. Number 10.
Number 10, let's see.
The stop sign at Dick Street on Garfield Ave.
Okay, item number 10, amend Schedule 9 of Title 10, isolated stop signs by adding Garfield Avenue for northbound traffic at Dick Street and Everett Street for southbound traffic at Beach Street. Wish to speak in favor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ira Novoselsky, 53D Home Street, Ward 2 Counselor. On item number 1, it's a school zone, and what happens when everybody passes Blake Street, they fly from Blake all the way down, from Blake all the way down to Dana Street. So this way I'm trying to get them to stop at Dick Street, and there's a lot of cross-traffic there with the auto body shop there, so I'm just trying to slow people down and protect the
Okay.
kids. So, and item number 2 is the road, Everett Street, coming out of the Registry of Motor Vehicles. People are flying out of there into Bell Circle,
Okay.
and that is our street, Everett Street up to that point, but I think it's important that we get a stop sign there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor of these isolated stop signs? Anyone opposed to these isolated stop signs? Hearing and seeing none, what's the will of the commission?
Motion to approve item 10 to amend the
Motion
schedule.
to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, all opposed? Aye. Okay. All set, Ira. I'm going to return to the regular order of business. Item number 1. The Traffic Commission will hold a public hearing relative to the installation of a do not enter sign on Clifton Street at Salem Street to regulate traffic in the proper direction around the traffic island. Anyone wish to speak in favor of this do not enter sign?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Richard Serino, 50 Carlson Ave. I've been following this issue through the summer at the North Revere Neighborhood Group meetings and have been by on numerous occasions to see for myself the situation at the intersection of Clifton and Salem Streets. The entire island, the entire island configuration and traffic pattern, in my opinion, needs to be totally redesigned. Despite some neighbors being upset, I can honestly understand why the do not enter sign was added. Observing cars during busy times and having a two-way street in that location is extremely dangerous. Sadly, people these days don't always drive as safe as they might have 30 or 40 years ago, and there are many more cars on the roads than there were that long ago. Additionally, I feel it is also dangerous to have a two-way street at the northerly entrance of Clifton Street, where the do not enter sign forces the vehicles to turn onto. And with nowhere for the pedestrians to safely cross on the current island, a crosswalk really does need to be added so that pedestrians can walk across Clifton Street safely. For all these reasons, I drew up a couple of ideas for a redesign of the traffic island. I'm not a traffic engineer, so I'm not sure if these would be feasible, but they're definitely worth looking into, and I hope this conversation will continue offline in the hopes of a productive resolution. The first proposal that's before you would replace the triangle-shaped island with, we'll call it a sideways D-shaped island. There would be a crosswalk in the middle to allow pedestrians to cross in a northerly-southerly direction. The do not enter sign would remain on the southerly side of the intersection, while an enter-only sign would be installed on the northerly side. This would mean that you enter the street on one side of the island and exit the street on the other. Further, in my rendering, you'll see solid double yellow striping that would be added on Clifton Street. However, given that part of the length of Clifton Street is in Saugus, I'm not sure if that's even possible. But if not, perhaps some sort of striping or lines in front of Clifton Street, or in front of the island on Clifton Street, could be painted to make the two sides of the street clear. The second proposal that's before you, which I worked on with one of the neighbors that's in the audience, might be a quicker and more economical fix. In this rendering, curb cuts and a crosswalk are made by removing only part of the island. Additionally, the triangular point of the island on the inside of Clifton Street could be scaled back to make it less pointy and therefore making the street a bit wider. Further, arrows could be added on either side of the island to indicate which direction the traffic ought to be flowing. These are just some possibilities, and I hope other ideas that will be presented by others today can be incorporated into a solution. For instance, I know some, to increase pedestrian safety for those walking along Clifton Street, some neighbors would like to have the city take inventory of its property along the street to see if there's space to paint lines which would delineate where a sidewalk would be. Other neighbors would prefer not to have double yellow solid lines at all on the street. However, these are all details that I hope can be worked out offline if your commission will consider taking action to improve the configuration as it stands today. To that end, I hope the commission or representatives of this body will host a public meeting separate from the regularly scheduled commission meeting in North Revere or at the Revere Police Station Community Room to dive into the design issue a little further. Let's all work together to try to find an amicable solution to this problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Serino. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this?
Jamie Vasquez, I am a resident at 21 Clifton Street. I also run the garage at 346 Salem Street. Been there for 10 years. I don't know how much into detail I really need to get. I think last time we were all present, I kind of spoke my piece on where we were. I want to thank a lot of the people that had come down and spent some time with me to listen to my concern after, spending 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. The stuff that I've seen, probably more than a lot of people that lived on that street for a bunch of years. Yeah, do we need a crosswalk for sure? Should one side enter one way, the other side enter the other way? Absolutely. Neither one of us, I'm not a traffic guy, but I see a lot of bad stuff go on in that intersection. And I thank you guys for putting a do not enter sign. Hopefully it will stay. I think a lot of the opposition since the last time we're here has gone away. I think if we could get the signs up, get the lines painted, get the sidewalk put in the island, and then the only other thing I would say is, even though the sign is there, we need a little police presence for, between 3 to 5, a few days a week to let people know that, the sign's there for a reason and it's there to stay. I think some of the residents that live up that way, or they're using it as a cut through, they're just negligent of the sign being there at all. Instead of writing them for driving up a do not enter, maybe they need a ticket for driving the left side of an island. I think if you ask any of the officers, it's probably about 4 times the amount of money for driving to the wrong side of a rotary than it is for blowing a do not enter sign. And they'll know that it means business. It's been a month since we were here. I work on 10 or probably 15 customer cars a day. I've talked to all my customers that come in, whether they live in the area or just come down to the garage. They sit there and wait for their cars. I've not had one person in opposition for that sign being where it is.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor of this do not enter sign staying? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Anyone opposed to this? Anyone opposed to the do not enter sign?
Hi, Tony Chank at 13 Clifton Street. I might be in the wrong spot, but we've had a good conversation, me and Jamie and stuff, and we kind of come to a little bit of an agreement. And I just wish before the sign went up, we probably could have had a little group meeting on the neighborhood, North Revere group. Maybe this is what we're going to do, and we all could have put our input instead of everybody found it at the last minute. But that's beyond the point. And what we've come to, and we just want some lines. I can hand them to you if you want. The other guys look at them, and this is what it looks like when you go around the area, and this is all we want. There's a line over there, and we kind of want to distinguish on both sides of the island a walk area, because there's no sidewalks. The people come up Clifton Street, they have to walk to the bus stop. They walk into traffic both ways, and if they get off on Salem Street, when they cross, there's nothing for them to cross on. And so it's all about safety for the children and the seniors up there. And it's just and if you look at the Google picture on the back of that, when you come around the island, which will be the new way in,
right.
It's out here, and it's like very narrow. So when we designed the island, if we could just widen that little bit of the island, would sure help make the same distance. So if you got 30 feet at this end, we got 30 feet at the other end, instead of coming from 30 to 20, and it's kind of odd. And I would kind of like to take 8 or 10 feet off each end of the island to make it wider, to have that handicap access ramp go through it. That would be an impression, and that's what the neighbors want. And we want to get along, and you know what I mean. It's it got personal for a while, and that shouldn't be that way, you know? It should be, we get together, we talk, and we work it out, you know what I mean? And when you do design the island, I kind of would like to have, maybe if you come up to the North Revere group, or we'll come here, and this is what we're doing, A, B, or C, like we do the playgrounds. We worked them for 2 years, A, B, C, D, E, and then we all find, this is what we decided to pick out, you know what I mean? And that's the way it should be on this island here, too. And, you know, there's no sidewalks on Clifton Street. We're never going to get them. Probably not in my lifetime, but we're not looking for sidewalks on there, but it's just that that's a dangerous turn. And, you know, when I sit there with the granddaughter in the morning, you know, people are walking, they got to walk out in the street, face the traffic. There's no safe left, right, or any place over there. And, you know, you can always see what I showed you, how it looks like that. And, you know, we're not trying to hurt anybody or anything. It's just that we're trying to make it safe for everybody. That's all. And, you know, you know, and what I would like to do, if would you let me, could you let Jamie come up for 1 second, please?
Sure. Yeah.
Would you mind coming up, Jamie?
Oh,
You want to
sure,
do it?
okay.
Okay. All right, okay. And I thought maybe just, that's all we have, and we're not trying to hurt anybody or do anything.
Just to update everybody on this, a couple of weeks ago, myself, the Community Development Office, and Julie DeMauro from Healthy Community Initiatives, we went up to this location. And we had come to some conclusions that definitely a sidewalk through this island is necessary, and we plan to do that within the next couple of weeks. So, pointing to Mr. Serino's graphic here, it would essentially be like this second graphic, and we had planned to put arrows on either side of the island painted in the street, showing the direction, so it would be one way in, one way coming out. And we would even put a left turn arrow on Salem Street showing, if you wanted to go to Clifton, where the proper entrance would be. I'm not so sure about the parking on the north side of this, if it's restricted, or there's no signs there now, but if this left-hand turn, it would be, if there's people parked here, I can see it being a little tight, so maybe restricting parking on the north side here would help the people turning. That's what we conclusion we came up with. If any other members wish to make some suggestions.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
A couple of things. The point of the island should just be rounded off, but stay that size. And the double yellow line shouldn't go that far down the street, just maybe half that distance. And coming out of Clifton Street, there should be a white line with a arrow to go right and an arrow to go left.
Okay, that's essentially what we came up with.
Well, yeah, a couple of tweaks. And you can decide if you want to just tweak the island that's there or redesign the whole thing. But I would ask that on the Salem Street side of the island, we have round corners.
Okay. We may be able to accomplish that. We're trying to make this something that can happen fairly quickly without getting into a huge cost.
I understand the cost.
And just to clarify, the rules of the road kind of indicate that you don't go to the left of an island. So when we put that do not enter sign up, it was just a way of enforcing existing rules of the road. So anybody that wanted to go left onto Clifton just needed to pass the island and go left. It was an enforcement of existing rules of the road. So that's why it was put up in a quick manner. So we are planning to do some work here very quickly. And I think that'll probably cure most of the problems.
Could, when you're thinking about redesigning, is there a way of getting some sidewalks on both sides? Because otherwise the people still have to walk in the street.
When you say walk in the street, both sides of what?
Well, when you make the turn coming around, there's no sidewalk on that side. And when you come out of Clifton, there's no sidewalk on that side. And you can see why I kind of sketched it with the white lines, and I don't know if that would help any. But I don't know if, like, on the opposite side, how you could put a sidewalk in
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Well,
get-
we'd have to see where property lines exist.
Right. That's what I like to do, see where it is, and if we can get the sidewalk put in there, you know?
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's fine, I don't, because you do need, because people do walk in the morning, go up to the bus stop, and they're walking up, and people come off from Saugus, make the turn that way and the other way,
Okay.
that's your design. They'll
Okay.
be facing, they'll
Okay.
be facing those
All right,
cars.
well, we could certainly consider that.
Yeah.
But it's to make some improvements quickly to satisfy as many people as we can.
Right,
Any
okay.
other-
That's
Anyone
fine.
else wishing to speak, clarify anything?
Thank you. Oh, can I take one short minute? Thank you for the pickup Monday. We did the trail cleanup, and
Okay.
you helped us out a lot. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve, and we'll leave whatever's designed there up to your expertise.
Okay,
No pointed corners.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. Thank you.
Second.
Second, all in favor, all opposed? All right, thank you.
Do you want to post up the no parking also around the area?
I would say we just needed some clarification if it's already on the books or it isn't.
Not in the books. Why don't we just put the signs, have it done now?
Okay.
We're going to post no parking, that's at the northerly side of the island.
Okay,
All right?
all right, thank you. Next order of business, number 2, amend Schedule 9, Title 10, resident sticker parking areas by adding Winthrop Ave, both sides from Donley Square to 955 Winthrop Ave. Anyone wish to speak in favor of this?
Thank you. Joanne McKenna, Ward 1 Councilor. Right now, we have permit parking from Donley Square up to 854 Winthrop Ave.
Okay.
The block from Webster Street to Summer Street has all apartment buildings. No permit parking. So they have multiple cars there. They're having a real big problem up there parking. Plus, after 854 Winthrop Ave, people are leaving there. They're still walking up the street, parking there, leaving their cars. I witnessed it myself last week, parking there and walking down to the T. So I would like to just extend that to 955 Winthrop Ave, please.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Councilor McKenna. Anyone else wish to speak in favor of this proposal? Anyone wish to speak in opposition? What's the...
Mr. Chairman, motion to amend the schedule.
Okay.
On item
And
number
do you have
2.
a second?
Just a clarification, Joanne, is this 24-hour or is this regular? There's no hour limit on this?
We would have it as, throughout the whole city, we have 24 hours, and I think we changed it to Monday through Friday, so,
All right. Okay.
Okay,
okay?
thank you. All in favor, all opposed? Aye, thank you. Number 3, amend Schedule 9, Title 10, resident parking sticker areas by adding Phillips Ave, both sides, for the entire length. Anyone wishing to speak in favor?
So I do have someone here, Joanne McKenna, Ward 1 Council, I do have someone here to speak that is a resident on Phillips Ave. Phillips Ave is right in back of Julia Ward House School. It's probably got 2 or 3 houses on it, and it's a dead-end street. But what's happening, it's so close to the T. People are parking there, and these people that live there can't park.
Okay.
So I'm just asking for residential parking there, and I have Aguilar.
Okay, anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Eklog Lumene, 18 Bale Ave, Bale Isle Ave. Phillips Ave is a small, dead-end, very narrow street, and the people are leaving their cars sometimes for weeks. Airbnb customers, they leave their car for out-of-state cars, and they leave in trash in our street, and we are the residents don't have anywhere to park, so we'd like
Okay.
it to get approved.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in favor? Anyone in opposition? Okay, what's the...
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor, all opposed? Okay, all set. Number 4, amend Schedule 9 of Title 10, resident parking sticker areas by removing Winthrop Ave, both sides from 690 to 850, both sides 805 to 850. Now, this is in conjunction with number 2, so this would remove these things from the books, Joanne?
All we're doing here is we're removing what's already there to make one ordinance cover the whole thing,
Okay,
rather than piecemeal it,
okay.
So moved.
5 pieces on it.
So moved, okay. Thank you. That's been passed. Number 8, amend Schedule 11 of Title 10, handicap person parking areas by adding 58 Pearl Avenue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This one was just for edification to do our rules. This one's already been put up.
Okay.
But we just had to put it for the public hearing because this was an emergency basis.
Okay.
And I think it was just reported that it was
Okay, and
put
you
up.
feel as though it's
This one was
necessary?
okay, yeah, it's already been installed, but we just had to put it on the agenda this month.
Okay, all in favor? All right, okay, all set. The next one is handicap person parking areas, 25 Norman Street. Chris, do you need to speak about this?
If they're not here, no, I mean, on Norman Street, I don't think it qualifies.
Doesn't qualify.
There's an oversized driveway there, plenty of parking on the driveway, it's all flat.
We got letters.
I've let us believe it, but when out by, it doesn't qualify.
Doesn't qualify. So do I have a motion to disapprove?
Motion to disapprove. Second.
Second, okay, 25 Norman Street will not have a handicap person sign. Number 9, amend Schedule 11 of Title 10, handicap person parking areas by removing 512 Park Avenue.
I believe this is just to clean it up off of the books. I think it may have already been removed.
Okay,
Double check on that, but it's
okay, that's fine. So we'll move on, make it official and remove that sign.
Move on that.
So moved. Okay. Number 10, we already did. The next we're moving to requests. Amend Schedule 8 of Title 10, parking restrictions generally by removing Winthrop Ave Southerly from 657 Winthrop to 669, 30-minute parking. Move that to a public hearing. Joanne, do you have any, Councilor McKenna, do you have any information on that?
Yes, it's Beachmont Liquor Store. They're having really big problems with having people pull up and park there. People are parking 30 minutes because there is a barber shop across the street now. There's a laundromat and Toretto's. So we're just asking to change right in front of their store, a couple of parking spaces from 30 to 15 minutes so people can pull up and get their liquor. Mm-hmm. And the other side stays the same.
Okay. Okay, shall we move item number 2 and item number 1 to a public hearing? Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, move it to public hearing.
Second.
Second. All in favor, all opposed? We'll move that to a public hearing. Sergeant Janino. Number 3, amend Schedule 16 of Title 10 service zones by adding 43 Nahant Avenue.
That's a request from Councilman Wasowski, he wants a public hearing for it.
Okay?
What's at that location?
It's probably new vets.
Is that 43?
Yes.
All right.
Motion to move to a public hearing.
Okay, second?
Second.
All right, we'll move that to a public hearing. Number 4, amend Schedule 11 of Title 10 handicap persons parking areas by adding 70 Florence, 49 Constitution, and 40 Constitution.
just ask if these can be moved to a public hearing. I sent you all the information, and what I'm also doing now by the emails to get it all situated the right way is we're getting clarification and approval right from Revere Housing, and that email will be sent all the time for us. So everything has been approved, so we just need a public hearing for all 3 of these for next month.
Motion moved to public hearing.
Okay? Second. We'll move that to a public hearing. Number 5, that the mayor request the Traffic Commission to review the speed limit on Rumney Road from Broadway to Patriot Parkway, excuse me, and lower the limit to 20 miles per hour in the interest of public safety.
This came from Council Ganasso through the mayor's office, request a public hearing on it.
Okay.
Speak on next meeting. He couldn't make, he had to leave.
Okay.
Motion moved to public hearing.
Hearing. Second?
Seconded.
Second, all in favor, opposed, we'll move that. And requests from Councilor Powers that Eustace Street be changed to a two-way traffic for residents only.
That'll be a nightmare.
That would be a nightmare.
I know Councilor Powers is here, he left, but I don't understand the purpose of this.
If we change this here for residents only for a two-way, and they're in an accident, head-on collision, we're responsible.
Okay.
And it's, you'd have to, how are you gonna know? You'd have to stop every car.
Right.
And
Okay.
unless we can get, I guess we can schedule it and get more information, and then,
Well, I don't even think we should schedule if it's going to
well, let's lay it on the table.
lay it on the table. Okay, so request from Councilor Powers, number 6, tabled. Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you. Second? All right. Thank you very much.